Today we're going to be looking at Okanagan Spirits and the history and story behind the company. So tell us a bit more about it.
Well, Okanagan Spirits is Western Canada's oldest artisan craft distiller. Started coming up on about 11 years ago, and it was originally started based on the Okanagan fruit industry, and it was basically started to capitalize on the wealth of fruit that was in the Okanagan, and how much of that was going to waste.
Waste. So why were we using the fruits that we had?
Well, believe it or not, we're such a big producer of fruit, but a lot of that fruit just gets buried into the ground, and so there's an overproduction. They can't sell it at a certain time, or some of that fruit might have a blemish or a shadow on it, so it's a B grade fruit, and because of that, you just couldn't use it in commercial. And so the idea was to not have these hundreds of thousands of pounds of fruit just get buried every year, because in Europe, if you look at what happens there, nothing goes to waste. They repurpose, whether it's the grain if they have overproduction or if it's fruit. And so it was really to try to bring some of that old world style of distilling into the Okanagan Valley.
Excellent. And so tell me a bit more about Okanagan Spirits. What kind of sets you apart? What's the history of the company?
The history of the company. What happened with Okanagan Spirits is there's a gentleman called Frank Dieter, and he was our original craft distiller. And so he came in, and he was the one that was looking around and found that all this was going to waste, and also had a knowledge of distilling. Now, since that era, we've kind of grown and kind of built up Okanagan Spirits to the point where we now have 2 locations. So we started in Vernon. We now have a downtown Kelowna location, which is where we are right now. And we wanted to build a second distillery as we grew to meet our demand capacity, but also to pay homage to the industry as a whole. We get our fruit from packing houses and from local orchardists, and grain, of course, from grain growers. But there was some decommissioned packing houses around, so we actually built our second distillery at a carbon neutral footprint and used all reclaimed products. So all of the floors in here are from Galatly Bay Packing House, all of the beams are from the Laurel Packing House, and our countertops and everything are all smashed glass bottles and stuff. So we really wanted to pay homage to what we do and who we are as distillers.
So your product's made from local materials, and your building's made from local
materials. And our building's made from, and we wanted to do heat recapturing, and so we really tried. We spent a good couple of years trying to design a building that was something for the 21st century moving forward, but also paid homage right back into the early days of the settlers that planted this beautiful fruit that we use for food.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it, and we look forward to new and exciting things coming out of